Hi, hello, and welcome to anyone who has clicked on this video. I want to say I greatly appreciate the love of the last video. I apologize if I stutter in any way or just kind of stop in my words. It's because I'm talking so fast and I'm trying to slow that down. So if there's any wrong interpretation or me saying something and I can't get that point out, that is the reason why. But I also want to let you know of what me and my dad had discussed in kind of like my last video. Um, Everything that I say and when I go on here and when I share my point of view, because obviously I can't speak for everybody. And there's going to be times where I can't give advice to everybody on here because I am young as well. I am 23, so I can only relay to what I have seen in my life and my experience and how my life has folded and what I can tell and what I can share. I shouldn't say tell, share to people out there, right? And everything that I say is you can take it in, you can absorb it, you can do whatever. You could just click off the video regardless, right? I'm just sharing to people out there what life has been teaching me. And plus freedom of speech, right? I got the right to speak my truth. So regardless, I'm here. And with that brings me into my first point. My main topic of this video would be being a sponge, right? What has it done for me and what has it taught for me? Being a sponge, and that term, if you're not familiar with it, I'll start with that, is a term that basically we can absorb any information that we want to, especially nowadays in 2026, right? I've had conversations with OGs, with my dad, with multiple people that I've worked with before, and they share their knowledge and their experience, right? And especially if you're cool with them, they will give you some sort of guidance, but also you know that every guidance, not everything, is a good thing for you to absorb, right? You shouldn't absorb everything. But people know that. People know what things they can retain and what things they should just keep out of their mind, right? I don't need to put an example for that. That's as base as I can get. But being a sponge and what's kind of done for me is we can have accessibility to every piece of information we want to, right? If you wanted to learn how to cook, if you wanted to learn, for example, learn Spanish, I have a notebook over there on the side. I would show you guys, but my handwriting is terrible. So I'm going to keep that to the side to save myself the embarrassment. But regardless, we have accessibility to all information. And I choose to use it to learn a language. And anybody out there can choose it to learn whatever they want to do. If it's cooking, if you want to learn to be a better gamer, for example, it's civics, but anything out there is there, right? And I think another part of that is also for me was taking heeded information and just things I was going about, because definitely being around so many OGs, unks, whatever you want to call elders and everything, elderly people, they've definitely seen a lot. They know a lot. That is without a doubt. And they did not maneuver that way by being dumb. They definitely do have some wisdom that comes with them, right? And for me, I always just try to listen to that and take heed of that, purely because the things that they give you can be good, but as I said earlier, could also be bad. It just varies from person to person, and who from person to person, if that information is you will retain, you absorb like a sponge, right? Or you can be like, yeah, that's pretty insightful, and you take it as it is, just like how you can take any piece of information in this world. And you really just want to go with it, or you don't have to, obviously, right? I didn't have like a script for this, so I'm kind of just more going off of just the basis of being a sponge and having accessible information to everything, and just learning. It's so fun to me on why that's the case is because you could literally do anything that you wanted to, right? And like I said, I say that for, I don't know everybody's circumstance, but from my view, like, you can learn anything that you want to. And it's such a, when you really think about it, it's really cool and really fun. The fact that I can just kind of like go in and learn Spanish, so I'm going to take a class and go from there, but I can kind of self-teach. It almost kind of feels self-rewarding to be self-taught that you can do it, right? It's kind of cool. If it's cooking, if it's programming, if it's like design, game design, animation, whatever, right? It is accessible, like it's there. It's kind of crazy. And I just choose to use it and use every sort of way possible to keep that up. It makes me smile, it makes me happy just knowing that I have the opportunity and everything to do that, right? Way back when OGs didn't. They definitely had it harder, speaking with my dad. And even back then, I can name an example of like, back in school where I have to go to the library. I didn't have ChatGPT at the time, obviously. And being in the computer and sitting there and just having a certain amount of time to do your work before you had to get off when you didn't have internet and you would have to go home, right? But it's here now. And I do believe that in myself retaining and absorbing all information as much as I can is like one of the best and most fun things for me. So I just try to can do it. But it's more of me sitting on here and just explaining what being a sponge to me is beneficial in. There was really no, I guess, how you take it, right? Advice or just some things that you heed and go from there, or things that kind of retain. But this channel and why I made it and everything is more if I can just kind of just talk. And it was for the second sake of it, if anyone wants to retain this information of how you take it as advice or if you take it as like, that's a different way of looking at it. I like that approach, right? It's all I want to do. That is simply it. So I'll definitely have more of a concrete plan for this video, for our next video. But that is from the heart. That is truly what I believe. So I want to say I love you guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic Friday. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Basically, stay safe and be well.